Super Mario 3D Land brought the Italian All-Star into the Nintendo 3DS, and I thought with a name like this it would be related somehow to Mario's first handheld adventure, Super Mario Land for the Game Boy. You ever played this one? It was directed by Gunpei Yokoi, creator of the Metroid series. It's fun, if a little short, running around the 30 to 40 minute mark once you get the hang of things. It has worlds based on actual real-life locales and a bizarre selection of enemies. It's on the 3DS eShop now if you're curious, so I recommend it on your next trip to the shitter. That's not what we have here nonetheless. How can I describe Super Mario 3D Land? I think before I can give an answer to that, we should take care of the plot first. It was a dark and stormy night. Bowser kidnaps Peach.
And that's it.
Oh sure, Bowser's forces used the super leaves that fell from this tree overnight to help, but does that have any real relevancy to anything besides some enemies using their tanuki tails to swipe at our hero at times? It's the same Mario story we all know, and if I can give praise anywhere, it's the pictures Mario receives at the end of each world to see how Peach is doing. Bowser actively fucks with Mario this time, almost in a troll-like demeanor. There's a point where he momentarily lets Peach escape and gets a kick out of chasing her again. The cardboard cutout gag near the end has to be the highlight for me. 3D Land managed to get some laughs out of me, and I'll always value that. Can I just say that this game looks great for the system? 3D Land along with Ocarina of Time 3D, Kid Icarus Uprising, Resident Evil Revelations, and the upcoming Smash Bros. 4 have convinced me that the potential for this handheld is amazing. It can compete with the GameCube with enough effort. If only there weren't so many jaggies. That's the informal name for aliasing, the reason why the picture quality isn't super smooth. The soundtrack isn't the best Nintendo has put out there besides the returning pieces from older games. The main melody actually annoyed me during my initial experience, and it only grew on me a few years after the fact. I still have Galaxy 1 and 2 to fall back on, so I'm trying to look at the glass half full here, you know? When summarizing Super Mario 3D Land on how it's constructed, there's no better way to put it than what the main man, Mr. Miyamoto, said himself during an interview. It's a 3D Mario game that plays like a 2D Mario game. Constrained design is at the forefront, so much that the camera is moderately fixed through the whole level, discouraging backtracking, which can be a problem when you miss some sort of secret. The Jumpman remains as agile as he was in past 3D games, except he can't do the triple jump anymore. It's mysteriously gone. There's no longer a health meter. Instead, Mario can take one hit, which will cause him to shrink, and he'll lose a life if he takes another hit afterwards. You move with the circle pad, and to pick up some speed, you gotta hold down the run button. That's right, a run button, just like Super Mario 64 DS. Now, before you get all worrisome, Mario in 3D Land controls like a dream. The circle pad will get you results that a D-pad, whether physical or digital, could only hope to achieve. Not to mention that 3D Land is a game built from the ground up compared to 64 DS, originally an N64 title brought to a handheld lacking an analog stick. The maneuvers like the side somersault and long jump don't feel as beneficial as before, and I think that was to emphasize the 2D nature of Mario, where these moves didn't previously existed. There's no hub world, you go from one level to another, and in classic fashion, you complete the stage by grabbing the flagpole at the end. Power stars are a thing of the past, but you got these star coins very much like the ones in the new Super Mario Bros. Series. There are 3 in each level, a majority of them being easy to find, and a certain amount are required to access new areas. In some perspective, the star coins can be viewed as condensed types of power stars. You only need some to go further ahead and reach the final world, and you need them all to get the extra stuff in a completed save file. Either way, I'm fine with it. I don't view them as an added piece of fluff that I categorized the comet coins under in Galaxy 2, because of how easy they are to spot and because of the dense level design that I'll go deeper into in a moment. Toad houses are back as a means to give Mario some auxiliary support via power-ups, and folks, it feels good to finally say that these things are no longer entirely situational. Just like the old days, they function as something that exists to help Mario, and not as a crutch you need to finish a stage. Every level was designed so that it was possible to complete with regular Mario, so they can only benefit you, and you can carry a spare with you like in Super Mario World, available to use with a simple touch of the bottom screen. The Super Leaf returns after over 23 years of absence to transform Mario into Tanuki Mario. Yeah, I know that's what the Tanuki suit did in Mario 3 technically, and not so much the Super Leaf. However, I'm willing to compromise. You can't fly anymore, but you can slow your jumps down for accuracy and whack enemies with your tail. It's great to see this along with other classic power-ups in action again the way I like to see them. 3D Land also brings us the new Boomerang Flower, a projectile I just think of as a weaker fire flower since you can only throw one boomerang at a time, and you gotta wait for it to come back to throw it again. Though because it can also grab items and star coins from a distance, it has some uses, so it's not all bland. Let's talk about aesthetics here for a second. Nintendo has never been this blatant with borrowing elements from past games. Super Mario 3D Land is the epitome of the phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I studied this son of a bitch hard, and excluding the Boomerang Flower and the use of the 3D effects with the slider, I think I can safely get away with saying that everything you do in this game has been done at some point or another in some fashion during past adventures, both 2D and 3D. With a franchise spanning nearly 30 years, this was inevitable at some point, so when that's the issue, Nintendo's job is now figuring out how to make something new out of something old, or at least make it refreshing. 3D Land may be the definition of safe, but I still think it manages to be fun. The levels are dense, resulting in action-packed stages and short length, which is perfect for on-the-go gaming. You can marathon 3D Land if you wanted to and probably beat the game in about 4 hours, and that's after getting all the star coins. But I feel this game is better enjoyed in small increments. It helps absorb the unoriginality if you're a hardcore Mario player, and it's always going to take a breather every once in a while, though I don't need to be reminded of that. Thank you, it's not a fucking drug. In case you believe the standard adventure through the 8 worlds isn't enough, 3D Land also has 8 special worlds that are just slightly altered versions of previous levels with a pinch of added difficulty. Nothing extraordinary about this at all, it's more of the same thing with just little differences here and there and...
Oh god, no! Oh god, no! It's following me! Get away! Oh, okay.
You can get Luigi at this point in time if that makes things any better, but this is all padding in its purest form. I'll give them this much, I think this is better than the Green Stars in Galaxy 2, at least there's something cosmetically different about these retreads. And 3D Land continues the trend where levels and themes aren't necessarily connected to each other, regardless of what the stage select background might tell you. And because they thought it was a good idea in Galaxy 2, there's a special level that only unlocks once you finish both the regular and special worlds. Oh, but it doesn't just stop there, you also gotta get gold flagpoles on each level, achievable by hitting the tip top of the pole, so if you mess that part up, it's back to square one with you. And then, yes there is indeed more, every level must be completed as both Mario and Luigi. That's 4 fucking run-throughs. Guys, it's okay, it's a handheld Mario game. It's perfectly fine if it's short. It doesn't cost as much as a console game, the standards aren't nearly as high. It's alright. The extra level is a real nut grabber though. I recommend using the Tanuki suit, but only after the fight with Boom Boom and Pom Pom. The thing ends up killing me more often than not during these tight-ass platforming sequences because I've become too reliant on it. Well played, developers. Look at that, all that damn padding for a thank you message. Well, you're welcome, Nintendo. Happy to play the game, but next time take it easy with the fucking repeats. When I said I didn't remember much of my first playthrough in 2011, I think I can see why. Super Mario 3D Land lacks a visual and gameplay identity. The only standout aspect here is the whole 3D game playing like a 2D game. The one dynamic you'll be undoubtedly focusing on the most is the fun factor for this title. 3D Land is a good game for the Nintendo 3DS, but it's little more than a distraction if you're a dedicated follower of the franchise. Generally speaking, it's good old family-friendly fun that anybody can play. This could be a good starting point for the two of you out there that are unfamiliar with the Super Mario Bros. Experience. It teaches you the fundamentals without holding your hand, though hand-holding is available should you feel the need to take it. I won't judge. Out loud.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm about ready to end this Mario Marathon. The official ending of summer will be here before you know it, and God, October is almost here already, and there's a lot going on that month. So join me next time for the last review of the marathon with Super Mario 3D World for the Nintendo Wii U. Jumping back to this console, so let's see how things turn out. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, have yourselves a great night, and take care.